Hi and good evening, everyone. My name is Albert, and this is the fourth straight time I'm sitting here in my room talking to all of your lovely faces. But hey, in reciprocity, right? I mean, it's reciprocal, I guess. Not sure if I use that verb right. But you are, in fact, watching this nice face on your end, aren't you? And I say that with such disdain. I don't think my face is beautiful, and in fact, I'm pretty insecure. For getting around to it, I may seem like a pretty confident and cocky guy, but I tell you, I am the most insecure person you will ever meet. It's just, I do a good job of not showing it. So, regardless, I'm gonna shake that off a little bit. I am not ugly. I am beautiful. Anyways, I hope we all are beautiful on the inside, right? That's what I wake up telling myself. So that's how I get through my day. Anyways, tonight I want to talk about. Let me look here. Oh yeah, so I'm so lucky. Sidebar earlier, before I got really tired, and I've been working out a lot. I mean, can't you tell? It's like I don't attend gun shows, but if you did, you'd be anyway. No, I'm again. It's just joking. I'm just a joke. But what is not a joke is I actually have been working out a lot, and so, um, I don't know. I guess that requires more calories or something. I'm not sure. I just listen to what my body tells me to do. Honestly. End of sidebar. If you ever want to work out and get in shape, my best advice to you is just like listen to your body. You know, I had a coach tell me that. I had a coach, I had a really good trainer growing up, and I'm an endurance athlete, and the best kind of advice I ever got from any high profile, super experienced trainer with endurance, within the endurance industry portion of athletics, is definitely that. I don't know what I completely forgot what this is. Listen, let me remind everybody that this is all improv and that, I do work very hard on obviously remembering and structuring my speeches and what I'm saying. And I try for there to be an opening and some points and a conclusion, and I try to wrap it all up. I mean, this is in fact the mode. It's like that's how you give speeches. But I am in fact also um making real IRL vlog content and some I mess up all the time. I'm a mess up, whatever. Let's continue moving on and let's talk about we're not talking about consoles anymore. Earlier, close of the sidebar because now I remember, and this happens a lot. So if this is your first time watching the show, then God help you, or not. Like if you don't get weird. Just goodness help you. Somebody help you. A real person, a fictional character. I'm just saying this is my life. And unfortunately, you've stumbled upon it. So good luck to you. Anyways, earlier wrote a bunch of, I wrote 4 topics. And I'm running out of room on that envelope because I write things down wherever I can. I put a lot of work into this. I don't at all, but it's just because they're improvs, right? And we're taking the time out of each other's lives to get to know ourselves. So that's what it is. But can you believe how many? Oh, okay. So tonight we're talking about betting on the presidential election. So I was watching a video the other night, and okay, so essentially the world runs as if it did if you were in every psychological book that I've ever seen a straight up gambling addict. I mean, listen, that's a dark joke, right? Because there's entire portions of young populations all around the modern developed world that are getting seriously addicted to gambling. Like, I mean, so far as in that's a joke, it's also very prevalent with youth and with people that are in Gen Z and Alpha and millennials that'll surely find themselves interested in these kinds of behaviors once younger people approve of them. I mean, it's so crazy that our entire life is monetized. Like, you can bet on anything. And that's crazy because just in recent memory, I lived in a pretty conservative, okay, I'll say conservative, moreover, as it is to the kind of very liberating practice, not in a political sense, but is gambling a liberation? I don't. Is it? Can it be argued as such? Is it like something that we should be able to do within free will? Gambling. I mean, should we have the opportunity to destroy our lives in a regulated kind of a way? Should we have the opportunity to create conflicts of interest when there already are inherently going to be variables that are always going to impact the problem or the solution to that problem in real time as it plays out? Listen, I don't very much appreciate being able to bet on the presidential election. Okay, now I've said publicly how I feel about sports gambling. I don't like it. I don't like it because I'm an athlete and because I don't need any more conflicts of interest when I'm out there on any kind of competitive field, court, or arena. And that's just because human beings sometimes, most of the time, make terrible decisions. And the more we can remove the potentiality of those terrible decisions impacting our actual lives more than just the day to day. So I don't believe that sports gambling should be legal because it ruins more people's lives than it helps. So I'm still okay with it though, as okay as somebody that's so objectionable to the practice is. I mean, there's lots of people that don't believe in God. You feel me? And I can't, like, they're people. I love them just as much as I love people that believe in God, you feel me, type of thing. So it's hard to sort of discern sometimes where we fit within some kinds of opinions. One area that gambling should not be welcome in, and if it takes a constitutional amendment to have politics off of the betting table, then that's what we need to do. Because we should not be able to bet on the outcome of who's going to win the president, not from any other place than the exception of a $5 shake with your bestie or a colleague at work. That's being American. That's being a normal, rationalized gambler, in that we often and have seen studies citing this very behavior. If you're asked to gamble, right, it's not really the gambling that some human beings have the problem with, because it's one thing to bet $2 on who you think is going to be president with your roommate, as opposed to betting $100 minimum on some website that has pools of people all going in there, knowing that somebody's, just like a sports game or whatever, like the odds going into it you think are 50-50. But at some point, when do odds and lines in betting impact what actually happens in real life? And has anyone seen Blue Chips, like the movie about basketball players, and why it's always fundamentally the Fab Five from Michigan? Like, it has always been against the moral code here in the United States, I'd argue, for in specific sports betting to be allowed. Now, thanks to Adam Sterling, who is one of the worst human beings to walk this planet, we now live in a world in America where sports gambling is a part of our lives, and I'm sure that it's destroyed many thousands of lives, right? Like, we know that casinos have and are forced to have state issued agencies where they give out phone numbers so they can help people recover from the addiction they get to gambling. So I'm just saying that I don't think gambling on who is going to become the next president or who is going to become the next senator, or it's just, there are so many conflicts of interest as it concerns the people that actually govern the laws that impact the way we all live our lives on the daily. And I'm not interested in making those guys any more compromised than they already are. Because if you haven't already known, they are some pretty compromising situations they put themselves in. accepting donations, the fact that we live in a political climate where Supreme Court judges are allowed to accept openly gifts that range anywhere from hundreds of thousands of dollars to millions of dollars, and without saying that's a conflict of interest, we're going to be okay with that. That's all right. It shouldn't be, and it's not okay. Even if legally it might be allowable, that simply does not make it right. And it simply does not take away from the fact that there is now more of a potential to have an outcome that is solely based upon odd makers. And again, the world, I'm not trying, we need all the odds that we can get. You feel me? And a way that we can better our odds as private citizens is to make sure that we don't allow for certain industries to be touched when it comes to being able to gamble, right? Like, how would you feel if there was an office pool that was started for every new employee that took a gamble on when they were going to quit, get fired, or be asked for a promotion or something? Like, not all of life is fun to be monetized. Like, seriously. Like, why do we need. We're already asked to give money in the form of political donations to these candidates. We're already asked, if you're a religious practitioner, to give some of your dough on up to that little woven little weave basket at church. You feel me? Like, or the tin, whatever kind of practice you go to when people get money from you. You feel me? That's all I'm saying. There's enough people that already do that. There's enough people that already charge for their services, all right? We don't need an additional institution that is just going to make things worse. So, I don't know. I really feel like there needs to be an actual constitutional provision and amendment that specifically says there should not be any form of allowable gambling anywhere in this country with politics, because that doesn't make me happy. It really doesn't. They're just taking people's money. It's like the NFCs all over again. You feel me? Like, our NFTs. It's like NFTs. I mean, even crypto and alt has more intrinsic value than NFTs, or a blanketed crypto scam that uses the umbrella of an alt currency. I'm just saying, there's enough people out there trying to shake us down, and I'm not down to pay another party to to potentially make things worse and potentially affect an outcome that may have been a different outcome if there wasn't so many odds stacked in or against its favor. I hope that you guys have a really good night. And again, breaking off from my little camera persona there for a second, I really value, and I think I'm going to do these little clarities at the end of all of my videos now, just so that we can know each other a little bit more. I'm not a gambler. You feel me? I've had some bad examples of gambling in my life. I've lost money. I've gambled. That's a reality. I can't deny that. But every time I've lost money gambling, it's only reinforced why I don't like gambling, and moreover, how I can see it being a major problem for lots of people. And I don't want there to be access for betting on politicians, because we shouldn't compromise them anymore. I've said that earlier, but I mean that. I think if people want to bet on sports, if people want to bet on the weather, if people want to bet on whatever, I mean, if they deem that appropriate, that's fine. Even betting about voting, like betting on who's going to be the president. Again, that's still allowable. I just don't want it to be allowable for the 80-year-old person that's on Social Security and every dollar counts and sends $40 on over, thinking that they're supporting a cause, or that there might be some kind of chance for them to win, and that's a lot of money to them, and it's hard for people to make those decisions, like food or betting $40 on why I think Kamala might be an upset. If you guys must know, they're on this one website that has all of the official approvals to be the only provider that's is allowing gambling on the candidates. Kamala Harris is down a few points, and they were saying something like if you put $100 on her and she won, you'd win like $250. And I'm thinking to myself, like, what a scam. So like you're just trying to get people out there to give you $100 so that they could likely win 250 when we all know that's not gonna happen. And in fact, it's indicative in those kinds of odds. I mean, do you know what kinds of odds have to be against you for there to be a twofold and a half percentage point increase payout on an initial bet? I mean, they got to be real against you. You feel me? I'm just saying. So like, yeah, I think that's garbage. I think it's garbage that this country is being targeted, and moreover the youth. You feel me? Like that's who, I mean, it's one thing for boomers to kick on over whatever kind of money they can afford to, but like when working millennials and Z's and older Xers or younger Xers and alpha, like I just they're already putting money down every Sunday on their football game. And like again, it's just I'll take the odds on a football game any day. It's entertainment. It's sold as entertainment. Politics in real life should not be entertainment and should not be defined as such. I understand that it can be entertaining, and that Donald Trump used to be an entertainer, and I guess as a prosecutor, that's what Kamala Harris attempted to do as well. Low blow. Anyways, seriously, any former prosecutor that even has like, the remote opportunity to have being compared to something that's an actual entertainer is such a compliment to them, because I am not a huge fan of prosecutors myself. And I hope that you guys have a really good night, and I hope that you take care of yourself. Seriously, I look forward to seeing all of you tomorrow. Bye.